Hey guys, it's Paul.
And Jestina Keys.
It's Netflix and No Chill, the show about Netflix for people with no chill. I got it that time. Finally. It's only taken like 15 episodes. But we finally got through. But, Stranger Things, episode 6.
The Spy.
The Spy.
Oh, man. Oh.
Things that go bad to worse with Will, who now becomes an unlikable character, but not because, but not an unlikable character because of things that he's done. He has been infected by this virus that was all Bob's fault.
It's not. He didn't know.
It's Bob's fault. Bob made him.
No,
Bob made him stand up to the bully.
Everyone needs to chill. No. Okay, here. I'm gonna lay it down for you. In any other circumstance, Bob would have been right.
But not against Shadow Monsters.
But he didn't know. Same thing with Lucas in season 1. How everybody talked shit on Lucas, but I was like, in any other case, he was the rational one. Totally right. Just not in this case. So get off his ass. Same with Bob. And number 2, leave my beans alone. Leave the children alone. Will doesn't know. He doesn't even know who he is right now. Yeah,
he's slowly losing his memory. The virus that has infected him, and my assumption, the beginning of this this whole series, but was also kickstarted into when Bob told him to stand up for himself. It's now taking over, and what we assume could have been like a spy for our side turns out to not be that way. But we get to see more of the Dustin Steve bromance.
God, I love
it. They have a moment on the train tracks while they're leaving a trail of beef for D'Artagnan, so that way they can capture D'Artagnan. Well, Dustin wants to capture D'Artagnan. Everybody just wants to beat Dart to death, and that's my play. Kill Dart. She doesn't want to kill Dart.
Well, I don't want Dustin to get hurt. But yes, we gotta kill it.
Yeah, so he shouldn't have Ratatouille in episode 3.
It's a baby Demogorgon. He's gotta go.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, Steve is giving love advice to Dustin, which is it's kind of funny considering that Steve can't really follow his own love advice. Even though, like I said, I am 100% Team Steve. He's been awesome. He redeemed himself at the end of the first season and has been moving upwards and onwards since then. It's Nancy that couldn't get back on the train. Screw Nancy. Well, past tense because Jonathan beat me to it. But screw Nancy.
Okay. First of all, I'm Team Steve in the sense that I don't think Steve deserves to die. But otherwise, fuck Steve. Steve Harrington's a prick. Steve Harrington's all about me and my hair gel.
Steve Harrington is the second most important character in this entire series behind 11.
Yeah, okay.
Bam.
And Billy's going to be the next star of the show.
That's just wrong.
Yeah.
I am buying a Team Steve shirt.
Yeah, because Steve's important.
I'm buying a Team Steve shirt because without Steve, we wouldn't have a season 2 because everyone would have died from the Demogorgon in season 1.
Okay, if Steve's so important, then why are the actors playing Nancy and Jonathan actually dating in real life? In real life, he doesn't even have game. Although his Instagram is hilarious.
That just shows that Nancy has poor taste in and out of the show.
I don't know. I'm a Charlie Heaton fan. Excited to see him in the Marvel horror movie.
That looks pretty interesting.
I'm very excited about it. But also, Joe Carey's Instagram is hilarious. That's it.
I'm Team Steve.
I'm not.
I'm going to be Team Steve forever until sometimes they ruin his character. Team Steve.
If you're Team Steve, I'm Team Lucille, alright?
Team Steve has a better bat than Lucille.
No. I'm Lucille beating Steve's head in. I'm Team that. But anyway.
I'll take Team Steve. Team Steve has killed supernatural things. What does Lucille kill?
I don't want to talk about it. That's what Lucille is.
A tied-up Asian?
I don't want to talk about it.
A ginger?
That would cut deep.
But anyway, they set a trap, and that trap is not sprung because we find out Dart is not alone. Dart has a pack of demigorgon dogs, demidogs, demidogs, yeah.
Hate it.
Yeah, and they are stuck, and everything goes horribly wrong. But they are not the ones that end up with the worst, because a plan is hatched to.
That's a trap.
A plan is hatched to kind of fix everything in the Upside Down, and we find out, and this is the big surprise, that Will is the spy. Will knew all along and led all of the people...
soldiers who burned the Upside Down to their death.
Yes. And they're all eaten by Dart and his
and
crew.
Mike figures it out and tries to save them, and it doesn't happen.
It definitely does not.
Oh.
And this episode ends with Hopper coming to the realization that we are all screwed. And then the demidogs start coming out of the elevator shaft, and that is how we end things. It's a pretty good episode. I loved it. This is one of the only, I think it's the only episode that 11 is not in at all.
Oh, they make up for that eventually. Spoiler.
Yeah, next episode.
Yeah.
Which
spoilers
is just not even worth. But anyway.
Okay, well, they tried.
Anyway, so that is your Stranger Thing fix. We are on to Punisher episode 3.
Okay, before we start Punisher, I don't hate Steve as passionately as I come across. He makes me mad, but I think I'm more mad at myself for not liking him. Okay.
Okay, I can accept that.
Yeah.
I can accept
Everybody
that.
likes him, and I just still don't like him.
Well, I didn't like him until, like, the last 2 episodes of season 1, and then I've loved him since
I just
then.
still don't like him. I don't know what it is. He really doesn't deserve to die, but he does piss me off. Okay, Punisher.
He bought Jonathan a camera after he smashed it in season 1.
Yeah, probably because Nancy put him up to it.
But he still went and did it. It shows that he was changing.
No, it shows that he cares about Nancy a little bit.
But he also...
A little bit more than he cares about
But he
himself.
cares about Dustin. He has a heart.
Okay.
Here's
the thing. If he wasn't trying to win Nancy back, would he be protecting her little brother's friends? No. He does it for Nancy.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Maybe not at first. Maybe eventually.
There is no reason to be giving him love advice on the train tracks if his only concern is keeping them alive.
Maybe his intentions change, but at first it's all about just trying to win Nancy back.
Love is selfish.
I want to talk about this. I'm done. Punisher, episode 3.
Episode 3.
So face to face with Micro. Dude's getting waterboarded.
Yeah, that's a great way
to a spinny chair.
That's a great way to end to begin this episode, man. The one thing that Punisher does not shy away from is violence. This series is ultra violent. But we get a and of course this could obviously be different from the comics and everything, but we get kind of an origin story of the Punisher, or at least we get an origin of like what led to his family dying, or the reasons behind that. And there is he is part of a clandestine group of people who we come to find out are completely off the books, and we wrongly assumed were basically just black ops. They're not even black ops. They're literally just they're hitmen that got taken over by this guy.
And it's brutal.
Yeah, it gets brutal. They're led into a trap, and Frank almost single-handedly saves the day. Like he goes through and he's like, dude, this is a trap. It's a trap. He Akbars the whole thing all the way through, trying to say that it's a trap, and nobody listens until it's too late and everybody is dying, and he goes through and one-man armies the whole place. And man,
gets shot, keeps going, beats somebody's head in with a rock, like,
and then beats people to death. Ooh. And then is saved because I guess he took out enough people to where his crew could come in, save him, and get back to camp. But at camp, we see him go right after the guy who basically led them into a trap and beats them up, but doesn't kill them. And in doing so, basically signs his family's death warrant without him realizing that that's what happened. So we find out that it was not a random act of violence from a bunch of biker gangs and stuff like that. It was actually a coordinated hit on his family and then covered up so. Some rough stuff.
Bullshit.
But yeah, this series has been amazing so far. The John Barenthal is, in my opinion, there can't be any other. And I liked Nathan Jane as the Punisher in one of the first movies. I thought he was really good, but
wow.
This not Nathan Jane, Thomas Jane. Wow, that's it, Thomas Jane.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
You can go without it. If it's not an MCU movie, they're usually not great.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so then Micro and Punisher form an uneasy alliance, if you can even call it an alliance. They hate each other, but they're going to basically kind of try to save Micro's family by killing everybody that killed Frank's family.
Yeah, they kind of have a difference in ideologies because Micro feels that they're very similar. Like, hey, we both got burned by the same guy, you know, as far as the government's concerned, we're dead, blah, blah, blah. And Frank's all, well, no, that's not how it is. Like, your family is still alive, mine's dead, you know, we're not the same. And then Micro's like, well, you know, I can't just go back to my family, otherwise they'll die, but Frank doesn't see it that way, so it's blah.
Yeah, so, and that's where it leaves us, and I'm really excited to see what happens in episode 4, because if
I'm invested.
If things weren't violent enough, man, this series is going to be violent, so if you're an MCU fan, and you've been worried about how much violence, and not seeing enough violence, you're going to get plenty of it in this series, because...
Ooh. That was rough. That was rough.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week, guys. Thanks again for another week. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out. Next episode will be Stranger Things episode 7, and then Punisher episode 4. The Punisher will take us all the way through New Year's. Stranger Things, we only have 3 more episodes, and then we're going to be touching on a couple of different things. There's a Will Smith movie that's coming out near Christmas called Bright that I just can't wait to see. So even though Stranger Things might be gone and Punisher will eventually be gone, there's still going to be plenty of stuff to be checking out, and other things are going to be dropping through there. So make sure you're checking us out. Make sure you watch Netflix and No Chill. It's our Friday show. We really have fun with this show, even though sometimes it looks like we're tired. It's because sometimes we're filming this show pretty late. But we really appreciate, we love what we do, and we really appreciate you guys checking us out. So, once again, see you guys next week.